Just like the rest of the world, Americans initially began using public streets as a host of automobile races. As time progressed, it was soon discovered that these venues were often unsafe to the public, as they offered relatively little crowd control. Promoters and drivers in the United States discovered that horse racing tracks could provide better conditions for drivers and spectators than public streets. In the 1910s, board track racing became widely popular. Based on the concept of the velodrome used in bicycle racing, board tracks were relatively inexpensive but could accommodate far faster speeds than dirt tracks. The drawbacks of board tracks soon became apparent. The tracks were difficult to maintain and, being constructed of wood, highly flammable. Most closed or burned down within a few years of opening, with the phenomenon as a whole largely abandoned by the end of the 1920s. Many of the principles that board tracks used, including the elliptical banked tracks with smooth surfaces, were later adapted into oval track racing, first by the contemporary brickyard service pioneered by Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1901, then on asphalt surfaces, which provided many of the benefits of board tracks without the flammability or durability problems. First by the contemporary brickyard service pioneered by Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1909, then on asphalt surfaces, which provided many of the benefits of board tracks without the flammability or durability problems. The result has been long-standing popularity for oval track racing, while road racing has waned. However, an extensive illegal street racing culture persists. Welcome to our YouTube channel. We bring to you interesting topics about automobiles, and we provide lucid explanation on topics that relates with cars, its important components, and I share helpful and professional tips to help you maintain your car. And today, I will be talking about an important and interesting topic: the greatest drivers, team, and races in the history of American motorsports, from the early stock car and IndyCar racing to modern day. Taking you back down memory lane, open-wheel racing was the most popular nationwide, with the Indianapolis 500 being the most widely followed race. However, an acrimonious split in 1994 between the primary series, CART, later known as Champ Car, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, led to the formation of the Indy Racing League, now known as IndyCar, which launched the rival IndyCar series in 1996. From that point, the popularity of open-wheel racing in the U.S. declined dramatically. The feud was settled in 2008 when an agreement to merge the two series under the IndyCar banner, but enormous damage had already been done to the sport. Notable IndyCar drivers include A.J. Foyt, Rick Mears, Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, Al Unser Jr., Bobby Unser, Dario Franchitti, and Scott Dixon. Since reunification, the IndyCar series, and especially the Indianapolis 500, have enjoyed a resurgence. The 100th running of the Indianapolis 500 in 2016 featured the largest crowd in more than 2 decades, and local Indianapolis media suspended their long-standing television blackout during the race due to a sold-out crowd. California rookie and ex-Formula One driver Alexander Rossi won the 2016 Indy 500 on fuel mileage and subsequently became an IndyCar mainstay at Andretti Autosport. Subsequent races have featured victories by Takuma Sato in 2017, Will Power won in 2018, and Simon Pagenaud won in 2019. Longtime team owner and billionaire Roger Penske purchased Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the IndyCar Series, and IMS Productions in November 2019. The CART IRL feud coincided with an enormous expansion of stock car racing governed by NASCAR, from its past as a mostly regional circuit mainly followed in the southern U.S. to a truly national sport. NASCAR's NASCAR Cup Series generally harnessed an 8 million person audience on television, as well as sold-out crowds at many tracks. In the last few years, however, attendance and television ratings are down considerably. Many fans complained of the increasing costs of attendance in form of tickets, hotels, and recent rule changes as reasons why they stopped attending or watching NASCAR races. The most prestigious NASCAR race is the Daytona 500 at the beginning of the season in February. Popular NASCAR drivers include Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Kyle Busch. Lovers of motor race are no strangers to Formula One. Formula One is the world's most popular form of motorsport. However, it is not as popular in the U.S. It has been conducted in the U.S. at several venues including Sebring, Riverside, Watkins Glen, Phoenix, Long Beach, and the Indianapolis Grand Prix. It was hosted in Austin, Texas in November 2012. The race was run at a new venue, which now also hosts MotoGP and the NASCAR Cup Series, named Circuit of the Americas. The 2012 event was the first United States Grand Prix held since 2007. A second race called the Grand Prix of America was to take place in Weehawken, New Jersey, designed to give a view of the New York City skyline. The race was planned for the 2013 season, but was delayed and the idea was abandoned. Despite this, a second race in the United States would later follow in 2022 with the Miami Grand Prix. A third Formula One race in the United States is confirmed for 2023, with Formula One returning to Las Vegas for the first time since 1982 as the Las Vegas Grand Prix, with a new street circuit to be constructed on the Las Vegas Strip. The United States also has two former drivers world champions, Phil Hill, 1961, and Mario Andretti, 1978. The last American to compete in F1 is Alexander Rossi in 2015. The U.S. has its own F1 team, Haas F1 Team, created in 2016 with drivers Romain Grosjean and Esteban Gutierrez. And starting in 2017, Kevin Magnussen raced with the team, replacing Gutierrez. In 2021, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin replaced Grosjean and Magnussen. However, following the war in Ukraine, Haas fired Mazepin and replaced him with Kevin Magnussen. In 2019, British energy drink brand Rich Energy sponsored the team, turning the name into Rich Energy Haas F1 Team. However, later in the season, the relationship soured after Rich Energy's now infamous tweet about Haas's performance in the 2019 French Grand Prix went viral. The team officially split with Rich Energy after the 2019 Italian Grand Prix. In 2004, Formula Drift, also known as Formula D, had its inaugural season. With 60 currently licensed drivers competing in Pro and Pro 2, Formula Drift is recognized as the premier North American Professional Drifting Championship Series. The series consists of an 8-round championship played out at racetracks across North America, judged on line, angle, and style, rather than who finishes the course in the fastest time. Formula Drift brings together traditional racing and extreme sports. Although international street motorcycle racing does not enjoy the mainstream popularity of its all-terrain cousin, motocross, in the U.S., American riders have been very successful. 7 Americans have won a combined 15 championships in MotoGP. Eddie Lawson has won 4 championships, more than any other American. 5 American riders have won 8 Superbike World Championships. Another significant form of auto racing in the United States is sports car racing. While not as popular as other forms of racing in the country, both the American Le Mans Series and the Rolex Sports Car Series operated as a premier series, now called WeatherTech Sports Car Championship of sports car endurance racing in the U.S. The former, known informally as the ALMS and sanctioned by IMSA, is based on the rules that govern the world-famous 24 Hours of Le Mans endurance race in France. As such, there is a typical European flair in the races and the cars that participate. The Rolex Series, sanctioned by Grand Am, has rules similar to the ALMS, but the cars themselves are ultimately different and are made with a more cost-efficient formula in mind. Among the better-known sports car races in America are the 12 Hours of Sebring, 24 Hours of Daytona, and Petit Le Mans. All 3 races have been featured as rounds in World Championships in previous years, with Sebring slated to open the 2012 season of the FIA World Endurance Championship. Other indigenous motorsports also enjoy major and widespread popularity. Monster truck demonstrations have a national and regional following. Monster Jam, the widest known monster truck circuit in the United States, regularly sells out stadiums on its national tour. Demolition Derby, in which vehicles attempt to damage each other until one is left running, is primarily a local phenomenon. Figure 8 racing is a form of banger racing in which vehicles attempt to navigate a purposely intersecting track. Sprint car races feature small, specially designed vehicles and characteristic wings on top. Several regional circuits exist for the sport. Dirt track racing, as opposed to most major racing circuits that use asphalt-paved tracks, enjoys local popularity. Several regional circuits also sanction competitions in tractor pulling. Mud bogging, in which trucks attempt to pass through a muddy pit, has popularity in rural areas. I appreciate your time for watching this interesting and educated video. I'm sure you got value. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the bell to be the first to get notified when we drop a new video. Catch you all next time.